All right, guys. Hello. Tonight we are in this book here is my main system. This is my go-to. In here is a monthly. In here are, I want to say weeklies, but you can use them as dailies. In here is scripture writing, prayers, and everyday journaling. And this is a A5 Planners Anonymous Melody, which is called Coastal Escapes. This is little miscellaneous items that came with the Planners Anonymous package. This was custom made for me from eBay because I am a beach lover. Yes. That the winter beach is my theme. That's where we go several times a year. We go to the beach when it's cold, you know, and I just love the peace and tranquility of it, y'all. I love, you know, just having the presence of Jesus with me as I'm looking at the ocean and I'm listening to the waves, and, you know, and it's a thing for me. It always has been. I have this little tattoo with this Bible verse on it. I got this many years ago, y'all. And I'm just telling Jesus, give me a chance. I'm going to sit here on this beach and I'm going to close my eyes. And it's always at night. And I close my eyes and I say, Jesus, I triple dog dare you to appear on these ocean waves. I'm going to close my eyes now. And when I open, I'm going to count to 7, because we know 7 is your complete number. And I'll count to 7 and I'll triple dog dare Jesus to come walking on the water. And I said, Jesus, I promise you, I won't look to the left and I won't look to the right. And I'll open my eyes and he's not there. And I'll just bust out laughing and hope he's laughing too, you know. But yeah, y'all, I'm a cold weather person and I am a ocean person and an extreme animal lover. And, you know, I love bees. You know, I love carpenter bees, and just, I love it all, because I told Jazz, I see Jesus in everything. I see him in the bees. I see him in the squirrels and the cats and all the animals. And I feel like if I'm feeding them, I'm feeding him, you know, and it brings me an immense amount of joy, you know. It helped, in a way, it helps heal my sadness, you know. For those of you who don't know, my husband and I lost our cat that we had for 18 years, 4 months, 3 weeks, 2 days, or 2 weeks, 3 days. I had it written down. And I had her when she was in birth. And then the year before that, we lost a cat, one of our cats that we had for 13 years. So it's a long emotional story, but Jesus was there for both of their passings. And y'all, I tell you, it's a testimony. And I really should tell it. And I don't think I have, but you know, when you have a supernatural experience where you know the presence of God is there and it's undeniable and there's witnesses, you know, it gives you a peace that definitely surpasses all understanding. So everything that God made, it returns to God. No matter what kind of animal it is, if God created it, it comes back to him, and that's his word. And I take great comfort in that. You remember in the Bible when God made a donkey speak? Well, one of our cats was passing away, and everybody was there, and you could feel the presence of God there. The angels was there, and Gary, we were all there. And I was telling little Andy that you're going to see Jesus. You're going to go be with Jesus. And he said, I know. And it was like, but God. girl. It was, and he looked at Gary. It was like, I know, but I don't want to leave Gary, or I'm afraid for Gary. It was something B and G. And he looked at Gary, and everybody in that room froze. And I said, he knows. Jesus did that, because as much as English as I had spoken to Andy, there's no way he would have the ability to say, I know. And man, the Holy Spirit was thick in that room. The nurses could not believe that they heard a cat literally speak English and say, I know. He knew he was going to be with Jesus. See, that's how God is. He is so amazing. He's so sweet, and he's so comforting and so loving. And, you know, there's just no words. There is no words. I tell Jesus all the time, hallelujah, don't cut it. It's not high enough. It's not enough. And I will never forget that. And, you know, maybe one day I will share with you all some miracles and supernatural occurrences that Gary and I have experienced, because it can be a blessing to you all, and it can be an encouragement to you all. We had a supernatural experience when Gabby passed, you know, and you know, Andy's passing prepared us for Gabby's. Really, it did. You know, so if I can spread love and happiness to somebody else, especially when I'm down, it brings a little bit of a healing for me, you know. And so that is, you know, that's just who I am, you know. That's just who I am. I'm sad every day. I'm sad every day. And, you know, you never get over the loss of a pet, especially one that you're close to and you've jived with and you've had with for so long. So, you know, I will be sad until I take my last breath. You know, that's just a fact, you know. And plus being old, you know, and having health issues and things of that nature. And like right now, my husband, he couldn't go to work again today, and he is sick right now, nauseated, sick, nauseated, same thing. I had to make sure that I ate half of a baked potato today, so that I could take all of my supplements, you know. And that's what is bringing me to go into my main system for tonight. This is my ocean-based steam. I'm just going through this because I know that God is giving me an increase. I've seen some new subscribers, and I'd like to say hello to all of you. I am so grateful that you're here, and yes, I believe Jesus brought you to me, and I to you, and I look forward to us praising him together, worshiping him together, glorifying and magnifying him together, because he is so worthy. And he is so sweet. I mean, he ain't sweet, he's sweet. You can't get sweeter than sweet, right? So this right here is what I love to do, scripture writing or verses. Let me see. Yeah, you guys can see enough. So this right here is just a heart. So it's nothing, you know, big. And I need to work on this book. I need to work on this. So yeah. You know, I remember the day I caught a sand shark, and I pet it, and its skin is so smooth. Oh my Lord, I love sharks. It was a baby shark, and I prayed over it, and I took the hook out of its mouth, and I put it back into the water. And I said, you know what? I said, one day when I go home to heaven, I'm going to see that shark, and that shark is going to thank me for the love that I showed it. But I never did name that shark. I gotta name him or her, you know. And I hope that that shark is still out there in that ocean water right now, still living. So yeah, so what I want to go to today is, I shouldn't have did this. I hate the way that turned out, but whatever. This shouldn't be a daily faith and truth This is just a monthly, and I need to get into it. So we did January, and we did February, and this is March. I love that girl right there with her Bible. And yes, she's very modest looking, like you were saying, Alma. Some of these stickers of women are so seductive. I agree with you, Alma, if you're watching. Like I said, I cut it up. Like, I had one sticker of a girl reading the Bible with all her cleavage. And I just cut her cleavage right off, you know. I cut it at a slant and cut the cleavage off and kept the Bible on there. So yeah, I don't want all of that. I just want something nice. Okay, so this is May, and we're going to skip over to July. And the reason being is, all right, I should just, why don't we take that out? And this is my Pray Without Ceasing, 1 Thessalonians. Let me see if y'all can see it. Yeah, you can. You can't see. Yeah, you can see. All right, let me just lift it up a little bit, just a little, because I don't want to, hinder you guys from seeing everything. But I hate for it being so zoomed out. So yeah. And when I'm done with this book, I'll cut this and make this a tip in, because this is just a Dollar Tree book that, now, like, I'm going to pull that up. That is going to be repurposed because I love those. And they came from, I believe it's called, So Lovely. I mean, these are like my favorite bows, and I know I got a whole bunch of them somewhere. I know I do. I hope I do. I don't know. I hope I do, but I love those bows. They are so pretty. Yeah, I'm gonna definitely lift them up, but isn't that pretty? I love it. I don't know why I like bows. It has nothing to do with breast cancer, but I do. I just think that they're so pretty. I love that blue. So yeah, they're going to be, I'm not going to repurpose any of these sheets. I'm just going to pull stickers off. That's all. I'm just going to pull stickers off. And if I have to use undo, I'll use undo. So yeah. All right, so let's put this to the side for now. And we're going to work in this, and we're going to do July, because the reason I'm doing July is because I had my blood work. I had my follow-up from my blood work today, and my doctor is in Nevada, and we're going to find us some stuff to put on here. And so we do a call. We just talk on the phone, and I submit my blood pressure and all that stuff through his app, so he doesn't have to take my blood pressure and things like that. And all right, so I think I'm gonna do butterflies. So anyway, he is the doctor that takes care of the majority of my health issues as a post-menopausal woman. He has access to all the things for hormones and all that kind of stuff. And if I want to go into the office, there is an office that's in a few, that's not too far from here I could go to, and speak with the head doctor. But I don't want to do that. I've dealt with the head doctor and he's great, but I want to deal with this doctor for now, because they're very thorough. So long story short, he got my blood work came in. He got it. I looked over it. And, all right, so let's see. How about right here? All right, let me make sure that you guys can see. Yeah. Okay, so he's put me on a statin that begins with the letter R, like Robitussin, Robabum, I don't know. But it begins with an R, and it's a statin, and he started me on a low dosage of that. And because I have high cholesterol, and I never used to have high cholesterol. So this could be purely diet, it could be hereditary, it could be menopausal related, you know. And so he's putting me on that. And he gave me his cell phone number, which is very common with these doctors. And every other night I have to text him and let him know if my sleeping has improved, because he increased my progesterone from 100 milligrams to 200 milligrams at night, because he wants me to stop having to take NyQuil and I alternate between NyQuil and like a generic Benadryl, and to go to sleep. And I told him melatonin, unless it's like 60 or 80 milligrams, does not work either. And so he is increasing my progesterone, and he wants me to take that at night. And I'm like, good luck. I hope it works. So he wants me to text him every night, every other night, to let him know if my sleeping has improved. And he wants me to start taking CQ10, 200 milligrams at night. And he got rid of a lot of other supplements that I was taking. He said, you're taking way too many supplements. And, you know, so I told him I have all of my supplements in a row. Row 1, row 2, and row 3, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, because of my hypoglycemic symptoms and nausea. Gary's the same way. We get nauseous easy, more so for me in the warmer months. Cold air is a healer for nausea for me. And I know that my nausea is a problem with my equilibrium, and it's hormonal. I understand that. And it's a problem that I've had for a long time, long before menopause. I was a sick child, so, and I wasn't cared for properly. So, and it just got worse as I got older, right? So that is good news. I will start my meds tomorrow. Because I have another appointment. I have an appointment with another doctor tomorrow, but this, I will physically be there. So I'm going to ride past Walgreens to get to his office. So I'm like, I'll just go pick my meds up tomorrow and start tomorrow. Oh, I love that rose. But that is for another project. So we shall see. And he wants me to take B complex again. So I'll have to start back up on the B complex and the CQ10. And what else? Oh, he says I'm like borderline, like he said in a matter of 3 months, you will be type 2 diabetic. And he said, you can't take metformin and you can't take semaglutide. He said, I want to put you back on Mounjaro. And I loved Mounjaro. Mounjaro worked well with my system. I didn't have any side effects, any bad side effects. So I told him, yeah, I would love to go back on Mounjaro. And he's like, don't worry, your insurance will pay for it. You're good. But I think that Mounjaro still has a $25 coupon. Now, I don't know if they'll let me do that again, you know, because I had Mounjaro for a year for $25 a month. I don't think they're going to let me do it again, but we're going to try and see. So I have to go get more blood work back next July the 24th. So that's why we're doing July, because I put it in my appointment book, and I'm putting it in here. So, he's like, you are right there, you know. And he's like, I wish I could give you Manjaro right now. He said I would. He said, but I can give you once daily Jardiance, and each day starts. You know, that's crazy jingle. Oh my gosh. That stupid Jardiance commercial. So, I wanted to put like a few flowers up here. So what I'm going to do is, all right, let's go with this. He said, I can give you a low dose of Jardiance and see if we can see any improvement. And I said, I don't want Jardiance. And he doesn't blame me, because Jardiance will give me a yeast infection and potentially give me a severe urinary tract infection. See, they don't tell you that in the commercial when they're dancing all over the place. The little pill with the big story to tell. Yeah, it's got a big story to tell. Is you talking about yeast infections and urinary tract? Oh no. So, and it also will cause you to become hypoglycemic. That's the last thing I need is that, because there's your nausea and stuff like that. But my main reason for not wanting to take it is because of the severe urinary tract infection and yeast infection. And as a kid, like a teenager, when I went through puberty, I experienced yeast infections. And I don't like that itch down there. No way, no way, no way. No. I don't want that. So he said, well, I tell you what, I'll prescribe it for you. If you change your mind, it's there, you know. And I'm like, okay, that's cool, but I'm not taking Jardiance. I'm not taking the chance, because once you get that yeast infection, that's it. You know, then you have to go and see a doctor to get something prescribed, or either use Vagisil and hope that will work. It's not worth it. I ain't messing with Susie. I'm sorry. I ain't messing with Susie. I'm sorry. I'll just wait, and we'll do Manjaro. And but I have to wait 3 months before I can see about getting Manjaro. So it's like, eat a bunch of cake. Like, no, I don't play that game. See, Jesus is in control of my life. And what Jesus has for me is for me. You know, I don't have to do anything deceptive to get what I want or what I need, because Jesus is on the main line. I've told him what I want. He knows what I need. He knows what he's willing to do. And all I have to do is wait. In the meantime, I will continue to do low carb, even though my version of low carb isn't low enough, because if it was, my A1C wouldn't be where it is. But I'm not a person that eats a lot of cakes and pies and pastries. I love those things, but I don't have that kind of a sweet tooth. My problem would be things like bread and potatoes, you know. And one of the main reasons is because I told him, you know, for dinner last night, I told him I had salad. Okay, this is crooked. I had salad and protein, chicken breast. And I knew that if I ate that I was going to be hungry in less than an hour later. And I knew that there was going to be no way I was going to be able to take the rest of my vitamins, row 3, the dinner, because it's no sustenance. It's nothing. There's no starch. And you know what, y'all? It's sure enough, that's just how it happened. So I went and I ate some oats, because oats are healthy and they're starchy and they're low on the glycemic index, but they are so calorie dense. It's just like terrible. But I had to do what I had to do, and it sustained me. I wasn't hungry. And the nausea went right away, and I could go and take my vitamins. But like I said, he said you're taking way too many vitamins. So no more milk thistle, no more bone strength, bone calcium, you know. But I had already gotten rid of some stuff. But he wants to bring back the B12 complex. And no more glucosamine. I used to take that. So we got rid of a lot of stuff. No more iodine capsules, but iodine, I take the liquid, which I was already doing. But I'm just saying, you know, he's like, it's too much on your stomach. He said, you're torturing yourself. It's way too many vitamins. So let's see what else we got. All right, let's do this one. So I was definitely happy to hear that. But I saved them. I put them in the refrigerator. So in case I do have to pull them out again, I will. But I don't know what I did with those I cannot find that jar of B vitamins. B complex that I had. I can't find it nowhere. And that is weird. Because I don't throw that, I wouldn't have thrown that away. All right, so let's make that a little smaller. So yeah, that's what's going on with the blood work. And he wants me to start taking testosterone again. And I told him I cannot do that. I said, regardless of what the benefits are, I cannot take testosterone again. You know, I cannot mess with that stuff. You know. So that is not an option. So it looks like things are leaning toward Manjaro again. And I have no problem with that. I just want to be able to afford it. But I gotta wait. And the way that time is flying, believe me, July will be here in no time. I should schedule it for, oh Lord, I see the light went out. I should schedule it for July the 1st. That's when I should schedule it. The sooner the better. But I'm going to wait until the end of July to do it. For the simple fact that I want to give myself enough time. I don't want to rush anything. Okay, so here we go. Where's my pencil? I want my pencil just in case things change. So hold on. So yeah, that's what's going on with me. And but it was a wonderful time with the doctor. It was very good. I had a very, very good session. Okay, so I thought my pencil was in there, but it isn't, obviously. Okay, I got it. I got it. Let's see here. I had a blue pencil. Okay, there it is. All right, just making sure I got it. So yeah. So that's how that's gonna be. So July the 24th is 2 p.m. Quest, and then we have to fast starting at 2 a.m. for Quest. So this is very important. the 23rd, and the 24th. So, and then I need to schedule, well, actually, I don't have what I need. Schedule a follow-up. Now, my other doctor, the one that I'm going to tomorrow, I wonder how he's going to feel about all of this. Because sometimes those two doctors, they bump heads, and it's crazy. And then when they don't agree, I have to figure out who I'm going to listen to. Okay, so schedule a follow-up with Nee. That's his name. Nee Leash is his name. He's Canadian. I forgot. Thuso, I think is his last name. But he was hired by Ross. And Ross, I trust who Ross trusts, you know. And this guy is really good. He's very thorough. I will not have to follow up with Craig. There's no need to follow up with him. So that's a good thing. So I need to remember that I need to do these things. So I put that on my all right. So what I want to put here is notes. So yeah, y'all, I had a really good time with the doctor today, and I'm looking forward to the future. I'm looking forward to what the Lord has in store for me. You know, it would be great to get back on Manjaro. That stuff worked amazing for me. Unfortunately, I am on level thyroxine, and level thyroxine is a hindrance. But you know, I'm getting help, and that's what matters. So, okay, so there we go. All right, so I use that blue, and this is Food and Yori, and this is, I don't think there is a number on these, but it is like it's an ombre blue. Like you see how it's like dark and then light? I don't know what the number is, but I got it for $1 and like some change from Stationery Pal. And I don't see a name. And I don't see a number. Oh, 038. There you go. 038. So if you like this ombre blue, yeah. That's 038. Okay, so now, I want to thank y'all for listening to my chatter, because I appreciate it. And for those of you who don't know, I always forget to mention my playlist. And I have a playlist for faith, journaling, ASMR, off the cuff stuff, but I always forget to mention that I have a playlist for weight loss. So I took y'all with me on a menopausal weight loss journey, maybe about 2 years. I didn't start experiencing issues with my weight. I had, you know, I was pretty much athletic, and I like to eat, but I worked out a lot, and I didn't really have any, you know, major issues with losing weight. I could lose weight pretty easy, and keep it off. But menopause and thyroid disease, hypothyroidism, metabolic syndrome, and then severe arthritis in my knees, really it took me for a twirl and a swirl and a whirl. And unfortunately, I can't get knee replacement surgery, which is what I need, because the insurance company says just give her hyaluronic acid injections once a year and she'll be fine, you know. And it's not true, because my condition has worsened and it's not fine. I cannot walk like I used to walk. I cannot hike like I used to hike, you know. But you know how it is with insurance companies, you know, you can deal with it. So when it gets worse and the doctor says there's nothing else we can do for her except have both knees operated on, you know, I would like to have that like right now, you know. But then if I do that, I can't walk. I have to be bedridden for 6 to 8 weeks. Oh my gosh. I can't live that way. You know, I have to be able to get up and move around. And you talk about somebody who would gain weight laying in bed. No. So we'll see. Like I said, y'all, my life is in Jesus' hands. He takes care of me. And I don't have to fight my battles. I just have to talk it over with him. And he'll decide what is best for me. And he will open doors like he's always done. And he will make a way. And I trust him considerably. And I'm not going to worry myself about it. I literally am not going to worry myself about it. Let me check and make sure that you guys are still here with me. Yep, you are. And we're only at 37 minutes. I just don't have a flash. All right. So what I want to do now is I want to get a red pen, but I probably should use my notes. I mean, I should probably use a pencil for this. So these are the things that I am feeling that I need to be aware of, or put a little extra energy into doing for my blood work. Okay. And preparing for whatever it is I need to do to get back on Manjaro, without doing something deceitful, deliberately deceitful. Like, I'm not going to eat cake or do anything to jack up my A1C, you know. So what I want to do is, prayer is the first thing. I'm going to stay in prayer about the situation. Okay, stay in communication with Jesus. Even though I already know he's got it worked out, I don't even have to pray about it. It's already done. But it's always good to pray regardless. So I pray about the situation. And then the second thing I want to do is I want to continue on the path I'm on. And that is going to be carb careful in regards to breads and potatoes. Now today for dinner, I didn't eat breakfast. So you might as well say I'd have my first meal of the day. I had a broiled crab cake, lump crab cake. And because that's the healthiest or the leanest or whatever, had minimal mayo in it. And I don't think they use many crackers or anything like that for a binder. So I had that, and we had we split a bowl of coleslaw, and we split a baked potato, and I ate about 4 crackers so that I could take medication. And I was feeling like, Pam, you know what? That crackers and half a baked potato might not be enough. But thank you, Jesus, it was enough. I was able to take row 1 and row 2 and row 3 all at once, and I feel fine. I feel absolutely fine. And I even went outside afterward in the cold just to reassure myself that I'm not going to get sick. That was a bold thing I did. But baked potato, it was a large baked potato. But I gave Gary like the bigger piece, but it was kind of like half. And a baked potato will definitely give you that sustenance that you need to keep your stomach settled. And then with the 4 crackers, I think I was like, this has to be enough for me to not get nauseous. And so far, so good. Okay, so the next thing that I want to work on is whole food carbs, like oats, steel cup, preferably. I want to focus on like, let's see, like, okay, you could say a potato is a whole food, but I don't have potatoes in the house. There are French fries up in the freezer. Those Alexia French fries that are supposed to be the healthiest French fries. But that's not where I want to go to. I feel like oats is like the wisest choice, or like quinoa, however you pronounce it. I want to maybe get some flax seeds and sprinkle them on my oats. I don't know if this is a good idea or not, but I love sesame seeds. So I'm going to just write sesame seeds. And then I'm going to Google it and find out if sesame seeds are good on the glycemic index, you know. What does it feel like to have type 2 diabetes? I mean, I don't know. How do you know? If you don't get blood work done, how would you know you have it? You know what I mean? Like, is there a certain symptom that you have? I don't know. But these are just things that I want to concentrate on for the month of July, especially because that's the month I'm getting the blood work done. But I also want to I've already started incorporating this in my life, but I want to just reiterate whole food carbs that are low on the glycemic index, you know, and I'm going to put low glycemic index, LGI. And that is just what I want to focus on. I'm not worried about the 4th of July because I don't go out to celebrate the 4th of July. I just go to the water and watch the fireworks over the water. I don't go to picnics and barbecues or, you know, things of that nature. It's just an excuse to go to the water, that's all. To go sit down in a little waterfront place that you guys who've been with me for a while know, where I used to film. And I go by and sit there on that waterfront. Tonight would be the perfect night to go there. It's cold, and I could just sit there like me and Gappy used to do and just watch the waves, you know. I would love to go there tonight, but I got to get up early tomorrow to go to the doctor, so I'm going to just keep my butt here. But this is just what I was thinking about. I got some space down here in case I want to add something, and because I used pencil, I can erase if I need to change anything. But the number one thing for me is prayer, because that's what keeps me grounded. That's what keeps me encouraged and hopeful. And I just want to continue to pray about the situation. Seriously. That's the biggest thing for me. I've got to talk to Jesus about it. I got to see what he says. And what is he going to do about it? And that's just it. That's just how it is for me. I'm just going to put these little squigglies. And I did talk to the doctor, like, will my vocal cords ever return back to normal? And he was like, nope. Damage is done. So I'll never have my old voice. That wasn't my old voice, but I'm just saying I will never have my old voice back. Like, you can get surgery done on your vocal cords, but that's expensive, and it is definitely considered cosmetic. You know, I just have to, you know, deal with it. You know, when I get those coughing spells, that burning coughing sensation in my throat, I just take my cough drops that I have for that, and I drink plenty of fluids, and I just have to deal with the sound of my voice, you know. I just have to deal with it, you know. But I do ask, you know. All right, so that was what the doctor and I talked about. So the CQ10 and the statin I have to take, and I have to take the B12 complex. And he said, just continue doing what you're doing, which is these things. And yes, he's a God-fearing man as well. My doctor probably would not have hired him. He really keeps his staff Christ-based. You know, they like have Bibles in their waiting room, you know. So I feel really good about this. Like, Jesus is leading me in a direction that will tide me over until I take my last breath. And I feel like I'm going to get the help that I need. And I'm looking forward to that. I really am. So that's what I'm going to do, guys. That is what I'm going to do. You know, continue on this path. And, you know, because he told me, he said, I'm pretty sure that in 3 months you will be full-blown type 2 diabetes. I'm like, what, really? And he's like, yeah, you know. But he says, well, you want to take this Jardiance? And I'm like, no, God, no, I'm not taking Jardiance. No. I wish I could, but I can't. Just give me Mounjaro and let me just reap all the benefits of that, because I've been on it before, and it's what I'm comfortable with. It's what I know will work, and I just want to do better this time. Like, this is Jesus giving me a second chance, you know, and this time I can deal with Dr. Nee instead of Dr. Ross, and I don't have to have physical accountability where I have to, you know, go to his office and see everybody and talk to people and wait. I can just weigh myself and give him the results over the phone or through the app, however, and have that kind of accountability. And this time we won't rush through Mounjaro. We'll take it slowly, you know, and see how it goes. And I will share that with you guys, as I have done in the past. I've always taken you guys with me during my menopausal weight loss journey before, and I will, I will do it again, because I don't care if I'm 110 pounds. Well, that's a little extreme, but there's always, I can always lose a few pounds, I'm always willing to drop a few pounds because I remember what I used to look like. And so it's like, sure, if you can get me to lose 10 pounds, if you can get me to lose 5 pounds, sure, why not? And I'm lowering my A1C, and we're getting my LDL under control. So yeah, I feel like this is a good path. I'm headed in a good direction. So I want to see where the Lord is going to take me on this. I appreciate the help. I really and truly do. So anyhow, guys, I'm going to go ahead and end the video here. I want to thank you for allowing me to share myself with you. I appreciate it so, so much. And if I can be a help or inspiration to anyone else, I appreciate it, because somebody out there on YouTube was a help to me. So I too want to be a help to somebody else. So if you are someone who's dealing with, LDL problems or pre-diabetic problems or anything along that line, I am open for, comments. I have nothing to hold back. And if you are interested in my previous weight loss journey, please feel free to go and look at the playlist that says weight loss, and I share with you my highs and lows and ups and downs and my successes, and then we'll just pick it up again. So I know this wasn't a whole lot of decorating and a whole lot of journaling, but this is what I needed to put down. This is what I needed to get out my brain and put on paper, and I wanted to add those things in there. Now that I think about it, I could add a little something right there. But let me see. Let's see what we're gonna add. What can we add there? I think we can add this little bird, because this is perfect right in between Sunday and Monday. Love it, love it, love it. Alrighty, y'all. I will see y'all in the next video. I love and appreciate every single one of y'all. And again, if you're new to the channel, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. Yes, I believe God brought you here, and I am welcoming you with open arms. So in the meantime, God willing, I will see y'all in the next video. Bye.